Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. From the Black Information Network, we have Morgan Wood. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning, y'all. Listen, Biden wants that smoke, okay?
Hey, girl.
Biden said he wants his doubters to challenge him at the upcoming Democratic National Convention. During a phone interview with MSNBC yesterday morning, Biden tried to address concerns coming from his own party about his mental fitness and his rocky performance during the debate. Let's hear more from President Biden's call with MSNBC.
I'm getting so frustrated by the elites in the party who they know so much more. But if any of these guys don't think I should run against me, go ahead, announce for president. Challenge me at the convention. Look at what I'm doing. I mean, let me put it this way. If there was something that was wrong that night, it's not like it comes and that's one night and it goes away. That's why I've been out. I've been testing myself. I am not going anywhere. I wouldn't be running if I didn't absolutely believe that I am the best candidate to beat Donald Trump in 2024. It was a terrible night, and I really regret it happened. But the fact of the matter is, how can you assure you're going to be on fate that can intervene on your way to go to, work tomorrow?
All I hear is ego, and I hope they take him up on his offer. Every single Democrat who feels like, the Democrats can't win if President Biden is the nominee needs to challenge him at the convention. Take him up on his offer. And I can't believe we're just having this conversation because I've been saying this for several months and asking the question, are Biden and Harris a winnable ticket? And if the answer is no, Biden should step aside, and people shouldn't be upset when folks say that, especially if y'all want to win.
But what time is the convention? What time are the events? Because if it's after a certain time, he ain't going to be able to be plugged in, he said.
Don't do that. So the president did claim average Democrats want him to stay, and he's not going to listen to elites calling for him to exit. Again, he insisted that the debate performance was due to an illness, and he added that 14 million people who took part in the primary voting process, they did vote for him, and their voice deserves to be heard.
Let me ask you a question. What makes an average Democrat versus an elite Democrat? Because he's been in an elected official for 80 plus years. So how is he not elite?
He's elite, definitely.
What makes
elite.
you elite and what makes you average?
He's a platinum member. He's definitely up there.
What are we talking about?
Moving on, meanwhile, former President Trump, he believes that Biden will remain in the race in November. In an interview with Fox News Monday, Trump spoke about why he believes Biden will stay in the race, and if Biden drops out, why he believes Vice President Harris will be the official nominee. Let's hear from Trump.
Well, they cover for him, and they still are sort of covering, but now it's getting very difficult to do that. And, it looks to me like he may very well stay in. He's got an ego, and he doesn't want to quit. Well, I think that it will be her. I think they are very concerned about the vote if it's not her. They are very, very, they're gun shy. They don't want to do it any other way.
I do believe he will stay in the race, too. And I didn't think, Democrats could win before, but I really don't think they can win now because the party is in such disarray.
Now, Trump went on to say that he thinks Biden's wife, Dr. Jill Biden, wanted him to stay and that nobody wants to give up that way, referring to being potentially forced out. Of course, Trump knows that from experience himself. And with calls for Biden to drop out of the race and step down, there has been chatter that California Governor Gavin Newsom could be an option for the Democratic Party. However, he wants no parts of it, and he says the conversation is actually hurting the Democratic Party. When asked if he would run if his name came up at the Democratic National Convention, here's what California Governor Gavin Newsom had to say.
No, to me, it's the hypothetical that gets in the way of progress in terms of promoting this candidacy, and I think it's a legit question, but it's exactly where the other party wants us to be, is having this internal fight, and I think it's extraordinarily unhelpful. I said that literally the second after the debate. It was my first public comments. So I've been consistent in this belief, not just privately, but publicly.
He's absolutely right. Because like I said, I didn't think Democrats could win before, but I really don't think they can win now if the party is in complete disarray with the type of dysfunction they have. And also, the only option at the top of the ticket would be the Vice President, Kamala Harris. Anyone else they thinking about has to be a VP. So when they talk about the Gavin Newsoms of the world, they should be talking about him in a vice presidential running mate context as opposed to being at the top of the ticket.
All right.
But you can't. Newsom was actually on the campaign trail for President Biden when he made those comments. He was in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, again, saying that this is very damaging. The conversation is just damaging to the party in itself. So maybe kill it?
Well, the conversation is happening because the candidate is so bad. The conversation wouldn't be happening if President Biden wasn't so terrible. That's why the conversation is happening. Can't just blame this on people. People ain't just talking out their ass here.
Okay. Well,
right.
if the all right.
Well, that is front page
More
news.
about it in the next hour.
All right, Morgan, we'll see you next hour. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open. Again, 800-585-1051. Call us up right now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get back to some front page news. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. Y'all sure y'all want to get back into it?
Of course, Morgan. Good morning, Morgan.
Alrighty then. Okay, so Senate Democrats are working on legislation to classify former President Donald Trump's actions leading up to the attack on the U.S. Capitol as unofficial acts. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said this is in response to the Supreme Court's ruling that presidents are entitled to broad immunity for official acts. Let's hear more from Senator Chuck Schumer.
I will work with my colleagues on legislation classifying Trump's election subversion acts as unofficial acts, not subject to immunity. We're doing this because we believe that in America, no president should be free to overturn an election against the will of the people. The conservative majority's decision on immunity is the most un-American proposition, the very antithesis of what the framers envisioned. Presidential immunity is nowhere to be found in the Constitution.
Yeah, so Schumer said the conservative justices effectively placed a crown on Trump's head in their ruling, and Congress has the authority to check the high court. Now, the ruling is expected to impact Trump's federal election interference case as well as other criminal cases against the former president. And because of that ruling, it will also impact the current sitting president and presidents there to come.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I was on vacation the past week, as y'all know. I was in the beautiful country of Anguilla, but I would wake up and work out and watch CNN and MSNBC, and it seems that there was more coverage about Biden dropping out and how bad he did at the debate than there is about the presidential immunity that's the Supreme Court granted presidents. I personally would think that one of those things would take precedent in the media, and it should be the Supreme Court thing. Why isn't there more conversation about what the Supreme Court has done in regards to granting presidential immunity to presidents?
From my understanding is that there is, again, what I mentioned yesterday is that they're trying to discover or basically figure out what the boundaries are for official and unofficial acts. So they're still looking at a lot of cases in regards to what is official, what defines official and unofficial acts from a president. So yeah, we'll figure. Yeah, I'll keep you posted on it. Trust me, I want to know too.
Gotcha.
Ohio Senator J.D. Vance is defending former President Trump's claim that he'll appoint a special prosecutor to investigate President Biden if he's elected. Now, during an interview with NBC's Meet the Press, the Republican said Trump is simply saying he'll investigate alleged wrongdoing in the Biden administration. So let's hear more from Ohio Senator J.D. Vance.
So I think Donald Trump saying, look, let's do the basic work of investigating wrongdoing is a totally reasonable thing for him to do. And frankly, the Biden administration has done far worse. I would absolutely support investigating prior wrongdoing by our government. Absolutely. That's what you have to have in a system of law and order.
Of course he will. We told you this months ago. If Trump gets back in the White House, he's looking for revenge. He's putting cases on all you bitches. What are you talking about?
So 1 minute you have a system of law and order, and then the next minute you justify election interference and insurrections. Got it. Furthermore, the Supreme Court, remember, did pass that legislation saying that presidents will have that partial immunity. So make it make sense. We got to figure out what that official capacity is. So this comes as Trump has threatened to appoint a special prosecutor to target Biden and his family if reelected. Now, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance is reportedly on Trump's short list for vice presidents, along with Florida Senator Marco Rubio and North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum. And moving on, President Biden will host a high-stakes NATO summit in Washington, D.C. this week to mark the 75th anniversary of the alliance, something that Trump was not trying to continue, that NATO alliance. Now, National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said NATO has been a major focus of the Biden administration. Let's hear more from John Kirby.
For 75 years, NATO has served a vital role in protecting the American people and in making the world a less dangerous place. NATO is the strongest defensive alliance in history, and today it is bigger, stronger, better resourced, and more united than ever before, in large part due to President Biden's leadership over the past 3 years. The President's looking forward to hosting the leaders from 38 different countries this week in Washington for a historic summit to mark the 75th anniversary of the NATO summit. This will obviously include the leaders of all our NATO allies, as well as NATO partners, including Ukraine, Japan, New Zealand, and the Republic of Korea.
So that summit comes at a critical time again for Biden as he's under pressure to show how he's fit to serve another 4 years as president following his faltering debate performance against Donald Trump that prompted some to call him to drop out the election. The president will hold a press conference on Thursday to close out the summit, which I am scheduled to attend. And I will report back to you guys and let y'all know how that went. Hopefully,
get that exclusive, girl.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, this is going to be a good time, a good opportunity for Biden to redeem himself on a public stage. So, yeah. Well, that's your front page.
He gonna fall on that public stage.
Oh no, he not.
Wow.
Don't what? Why?
Damn it,
That's your
man.
front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. You can follow me on socials at Morgan Media, and for more news coverage, be sure you guys check out the Black Information Network at Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Wake that ass up. Early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.